y'all, welcome back to Mijah J. It's your girl, Mijah J. Back at it again with another freaking video, bro. If you're new here, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Hit that bell right next to it so you get notified every time I do post and you'll see my stuff. So, as you can see from the title below, this video is about basically like being pregnant in the military, I guess. So I don't really know the title of the video, so I don't know why I said as you see from the title of the video. Because I'm not on the title yet, but this will probably be relevant once I do figure out the title. So there you go.
Cousins are crazy, my cousins like boogie. Life is amazing, it is what it should be.
So basically this is like the ins and outs of how like I was treated, my leave, all that stuff, everything about being pregnant in the military. This video was requested by Rachel. Shout out to you, girl. So what's up? Back to the motherfucking video. So I was active duty February 2015, like that's when I joined. And then I got pregnant August 2016. At my base in Tinker Air Force Base, Oklahoma City, we had to be in the dorm rooms for 3 years. Like, it's just like anything, like when you're in college and you're a freshman, like they're gonna put you in the dorm rooms first before your parents send you to like a house, you know? So we're in the dorms for the first 3 years of our lives. And then if you get pregnant, which I did, you have to be in the dorms until you're 5 months pregnant. 20 weeks, bro.
5 months pregnant.
So luckily for me, like I didn't show for like a good amount. But imagine like being in a dorm and you're pregnant and you're like literally showing like bumps and all, and you're walking, because in the dorms it's literally like a college dorm. Like you have the dorms, which is just your bed, a shower, a kitchen, and you share all the shower and the kitchen with a roommate, or at least that's how my dorm was. So there was 2 people for every dorm. And then for food, there was like a cafeteria. It's called DFAC. I don't know what it stands for, department. I don't freaking know. That was a little synopsis of life in the dorms in the military. So if you want to see a video about that, drop it in the comments, let me know. Back to what I was saying. So 5 months pregnant, I didn't show, which was really good for me. So once I hit my 20-week mark, they did my paperwork to move me out of the dorms, which is like literally 1 or 2 documents, like fill it out, sign it, get your command to sign it, all this stuff. You'll start getting a pay raise, like a pay increase, which is your BAH, which is housing allowance. And then you also get BAS, which is food allowance. And I had to mention the cafeteria because when you're in the dorms, you do not get BAS. BAH, housing, and BAS, food, are different for each state. Because obviously, like, the rent living Miami for $3,000 compared to Orlando for $1,000, you know what I mean? So that's what the difference is for BAH and BAS, and it's different, like, citywide. So for BAS in Oklahoma, it was, I believe, $350 a month. So you're getting $350 extra for food, which you wouldn't get if you were living in the dorms. I hit my 20-week mark, I got $350 for food for BAS, and then BAH in Oklahoma, they'll give you, I believe, $860 or something like that, like $800 and something dollars. If you're either married or you have a kid, then you'll get like a pay raise for your dependents. So I also got BAH for having a baby, which became $1,200, I believe. Until your baby is born, you don't have a dependent. Your dependent is not there until it is literally right here. Mommy. Okay, so when I moved out, I got, I think in the dorms, I was making literally $650 every check. Yeah, so I think I was making like $1,200 a month. I got $865 extra and then $350 for food. So I got an extra $1,200 a month. My paycheck doubled. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get a 2-bedroom house or apartment. So I shopped around, found a decent apartment for X amount of dollars, and I got the 2-bedroom, which I was paying a lot more for having a 2-bedroom, obviously. But I was like, the baby's gonna be here and she's gonna have to live in her room, because my plan at the time was to finish my enlistment in the military, because I had another 2 years left. I'm 8 months pregnant now, or 7 months maybe, wobbling around the clinic. While they're in the military and pregnant, you can go to your doctor, like if your ankles are swollen or whatever, and you can get a shoe waiver, which is where you don't wear your boots, so you get to wear like sneakers. But I don't know, it just looks really funny when you're not wearing boots with your uniform. So I just didn't want to do that. For me, I don't know, I'm like, I hate feeling like or looking like I'm a bum or I'm tired or anything. Like I wanted to like enjoy my pregnancy experience, but I also want to see like how far I can push my body and what I can do like movement wise, like how far can I go, like how long will I be active until I'm like I feel like I'm tired. So I guess people would see that because I was working so hard, like I was volunteering still, I was working, I was going out to like different activities on the weekends, like doing all kinds of stuff, like in school, going to school at the same time, all kinds of stuff. I like to do a lot of things. I like to be everywhere, like doing all kinds of stuff just because it helps me with my mental. So 8 months pregnant, walking around, wearing boots, the full uniform. Luckily I was pregnant during the winter, so obviously August is hot, but I wasn't really showing, so I was okay. So August, September, October, and then like December is when I moved into my apartment. So December to March, April, because that's when April's when I had her. So from December to April, that's when like I was really like pregnant, like tired, whatever. Still wearing the boots, still the whole uniform. I wasn't hot too much because it was cold still. But what's crazy, like I never got any time off. I didn't get any time off to just put my feet up. I never got put on bed rest or like half days, none of that stuff. When I tell you, I literally worked up until the day I gave birth. I worked until that day. And if you want to hear about that, I'll link the video right here on my labor and delivery story, which sucked. But I mean, my baby's here, so it's okay. Let's fast forward some more time. So after you give birth, you get 3 months off. You get 3 months of maternity leave, nobody bothering you. It's your time. If you want to go to Italy for those 3 months with your baby, you can go to Italy. If you want to go back home to Georgia, you can go back home to Georgia. So my mom, she flew in, of course, for the birth and all that stuff. And I think maybe a week later, we packed up my car and then we drove down from Oklahoma to Florida with a newborn baby, like a week old, 2 week old baby, which was tough, but it was cool because I mean they're babies, so they just sleep the entire time. So yeah, so it was literally like a 20-hour drive or something, like something outrageous. And we did it, like we drove to Georgia, stopped, stayed the night at my grandma's, and then we drove back to Florida for like another 8-hour drive. So we made it back home during, it was summer break, which was actually really convenient. So I had her April 28th, so then May, June, July. So I was in Florida for May, June, and July, and then in the military you get 2.5 days of leave every month, or you can just save it if you don't use it. I saved at least 8 days if I didn't have any leave saved, and I had hella leave saved, so I didn't go like on trips like that. So I had hella leave saved. So my birthday's in August, so May, June, July, I was on vacation in Florida, then we drove back to Oklahoma, and I took, I think 1 more extra week just off in the first week of August, and then I went back to work and got back into my routine. Now, when you have a baby, obviously you have to get them up to date on shots. They've got to do like their 2-week checkup, their month checkup, 2-month checkup, 3-month checkup, stuff like that. So I called the hospital in Florida where I was living on maternity leave, which was like 30 minutes away from my house, 45 away. And I just got the baby enrolled there, and I was enrolled there, so they had my postpartum care, and then they had the baby shots there and stuff. So yeah, so now we're back in Oklahoma. So we drove whatever, now we're back in Oklahoma for daycare. So there's, on my base, I think it was like 4 daycares, because that's like our base was huge. There is a waiting list, so I was on that waiting list like the minute I found out I was pregnant. But they were kind of like, hey, like you can get on the waiting list, but don't really like freak out because you're a single parent, active duty, and you have an infant. They're like, we kind of have to, like, we have to, like there's, in the military, like the Air Force specifically, they're like, we have to figure it out, you know, like there's no, what am I gonna do, I'm gonna struggle. No, they're like, we have to get you in. So they got me into a daycare. I think, how much was it? I cannot remember how much daycare was. I don't remember how much daycare was, but it was like decently priced, maybe 70 bucks a week. So I was paying like $280 a month. And then I tried to do my expenses as far as that. And for daycare, like they were open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. My job was 7 to 5. So I mean, when you have a kid, it's like, because for my clinic, if mental health, if somebody walks in, like it's an emergency, they can stay as late as they need to. Like we can be there in the clinic till like 8 p.m. But with a kid, like I can't, they can close at 6. So I would always get my daughter around like 5:15, 5:30. Then go home and do our life. And really that's just how it was living with a baby in the Air Force. It's really just like regular life, only they really make it easier for you. Like I'm glad, like I'm really glad that I had my daughter when I was active duty because of all the programs, all the help, all the assistance. Like they really helped. Like that's what I be saying about the Air Force. I said like hella times. That's what they say about the Air Force. They really do take care of their people. I never felt like I was struggling financially. Daycare was amazing, like amazing. They had all the cameras, they had all these TVs like on the first wall when you walk in, so you can literally see every single room. We labeled every bottle. They had forms like of when they ate, when they changed, the diapers are timed, like what time it was, all kinds of stuff. It was just amazing. overall, having a baby in the military while I was in, it was good. There's also a lot of struggles, not a lot, but there were some things that like helped me figure out why I wanted to get out as well, just by having a kid. I don't know, in the real world, like the civilian side, real world, how I'm living now, whatever, I don't know what to call it. I call it real world. You're always like, you go to work, you're 9 to 5 or whatever your job is, and then you see your kid. So it's the same as that. Like, I don't know, at the time I felt like I wasn't spending enough time with her, but if you think about it in hindsight, it's the same. Like if you're working in the military, you're working in real life, you still don't see your kid regardless they're in daycare. And then on the weekends in the Air Force or in the military, like the weekends were mine. I didn't work weekends, so I would hang out with her. I'm not sure, it's just, I felt really like I wasn't able to spend enough time with her how I wanted to. Like I just felt like everything was just so much for me as a single parent. Like I would wake up at 6 a.m. try to get myself ready, and then I would wake her up about 6:30, get her ready. So it's only a 30-minute span where I'm with her from like 6:30, really 15 minutes, 6:30 to 6:45, because I would leave at 6:45 to take her to daycare. Drop her off by 6:50 because I lived really close to base. Okay, so when I picked out my apartment, like I need to make sure I have my sleep, sis, okay? I gotta make sure I'm sleeping. So I made sure I was really close to the base, like not living on base, but close enough where I wouldn't have to wake up 2 hours early. I live 5 minutes away. So I'll wake her up at 6:30, leave the house about 6:45, get to daycare at 6:50, spend 5 minutes in there at daycare with all her bottles and stuff, because I would get everything ready the night before. So I would have all her bottles already labeled. So I just go in, put her bottles down, sign her in, give her a kiss, love you, and then I would go to work, and my job was literally right there. Like they have, again, 4 daycares, so they were like really well placed around the base. So this daycare that I had her in was right next to the clinic. Like the daycare was here and the clinic was right here. So literally I could walk if I wanted to. So I would get to work by 7, set up, all that stuff, and good to go. So that was my life. The only thing that I had an issue with really was, I can't remember the name of it right now, but we would get a call like 3 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever time it was, and they'd be like, hey, whatever, they go through, like they would read this little spiel, and then we have to call the next person in line, whatever. The point is, all of us would have to go, like get ready immediately, go to the clinic, stand in line, whatever it was, whether it was for shots, whether it was for our deployment bags, whether it was bring your bag for deployment just to do like a test run, like stuff like that. But the issue is daycare don't open till 6. And in the military, they want you to have a civilian that has like rights of your kid. So if something happens, you have a plan. You have to be deployable at all times. When you have a kid for the first year, you can't deploy. Like they will not let you deploy within the first year. But after that, you have to be able to deploy. So you have to be able to give your kid up to somebody if you were to deploy. That's why they have cases like this. So they'll call you in, and I'm like, well, I have a kid. And they're like, well, you're supposed to figure it out. Like you're supposed to have a plan, ready, set, go. So it's 4 a.m. and I'm like, well, I'm gonna bring her to the clinic. So I'm like texting my supervisor, I'm like, what do I do? Like I have a baby, obviously, because she has kids, but she has a husband as well, only they're 2 active duty members and both in the clinic. So they're both getting called in, so they had to bring their kids as well. I got called and had to bring my kid in, and that's just what it was, like you have to bring your kid in, but it's so inconvenient, because it's like, it's 4 a.m. Y'all really woke me up to get a flu shot at 4 a.m. with my baby right here, like screaming because it's 4 a.m. Didn't make any sense. So that was like a really big thing for me. I was like, that is just so inconvenient, it's so rude. Like, I don't know, maybe I was just ready to get out at this point, I think, but I was really passionate about it. I was like, nah, that's just messed up, like I'm not doing it. Aside from that one situation, like it was really beneficial. They really do pay for a lot of stuff. The only issue really is giving your kid up, like for when you're deploying or like situations like that, because that's really important. Like I'm not trying to go to freaking Saudi Arabia and my daughter's in Oklahoma with a stranger, or she's with my mom for 6 months. Like, okay, yeah, I'm comfortable with her being at my mom's, but I want to be with my kid. So that was my only issue, and that's why I got out. Overall, it really was like a good experience having a baby while in, because I was able to afford her. If I ever wanted to go back in, like I know she'll be well taken care of, etc. Like my money will be fine. I hope I answered all the questions. If you have any questions, put it in the comments below about this. Like if you have any random thing about being pregnant or having a baby in the military, put it in the comments below. If you have any suggestions on what videos you want, put it in the comments below. Do not forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time on Mijah J. Bye, y'all.
Yeah.
Weezy out of here.
The dash a digi, the schedule busy. My head in a hoodie, my shorty a goodie.